2020 by Honorable Senator Aaron Cheruiyot and Honorable Senator Dr. Isaac Mwaura is also lined up for debate at the second reading stage, and members will be expected to go into division on this particular bill. A look at what this bill entails is that the bill proposes to impose obligations on each level of government to address the socio-economic needs of persons with a disability. The bill proposes to bestow upon the county executive committee member for the time being in charge of matters relating to persons with disability the responsibility to advise on and put in place measures to ensure the socio-economic development of persons with disability in the county. The bill seeks to align the Persons with Disability Act 2003 with the Constitution. Further, the bill proposes to review the membership of the National Council for Persons with Disability to include a nominee of the Council of County Governors in order to make the workings of the council more efficient and representative. Also lined up for division this afternoon, the Election Campaign Financing Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 51 of 2021 by Honorable Senator Ledama Olekina. It is a bill that is at the second stage. Debate will be resumption of a debate that was interrupted on Wednesday, 23rd March 2022. This afternoon, members are also expected to proceed on a committee of the whole to consider 5 bills. There is the Intergovernmental Relations Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 37 of 2021. This one is a bill tabled by the Chairperson Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations. This particular debate will be a resumption of an interrupted one that was on Wednesday, 22nd December 2021 in the morning sitting. Members will also be going into division at the committee stage on this particular bill. This afternoon also lined up for consideration at the committee of the whole is the division of a revenue bill, National Assembly Bill number 8 of 2022. It is a bill by the Senate Majority Leader. The Elections Amendment number 3 bill, Senate Bills number 48 of 2021 by Honorable Senator Engineer Ephraim Maina. Will also see members possibly the committee of the whole to consider this bill. At the entrance of the Senate chambers, the Speaker of the Senate, Honorable Kenneth Lusaka, has stepped into the chambers and he will be presiding over this afternoon sitting. I will now hand you over for the live broadcast. Good afternoon.
Let us pray. Almighty God, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor and blessings us, your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to leadership positions in this republic. We seek guidance to treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair. Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Senator Mbito.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Senate today, 30th of March 2022. Report of the Standing Committee on Health on the Kenya Medical Supplies Authority Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 53 of 2021. Thank you.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, statements.
I want to invite Senator Kibiru. You have a statement to make to the House.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity to make a statement so that I can be able to clarify an outstanding issue to allow the Senate to continue with its business. Mr. Speaker, for 2 sessions we have been debating about the position of the the county government's grants bill, and I want to report to the House that today, since morning, we have had discussions because we promised to go and lobby, and I was with the leadership of the House, and we met both the leadership of the other House and the chairman concerned in the matters that we are deliberating. And it is on record, Mr. Speaker, that it was unanimously agreed and communicated that tomorrow at 10, the mediation team will meet, and we have agreed that the bill will be an annual bill, and the 2 clerks have already started making the necessary arrangements for a meeting tomorrow. So I just wanted to clarify to the House that we have it on record, and on record that we will get the grants bill tomorrow afternoon, a report that will conform into what we had proposed in the bill. And I think as the minority leader is getting in, he can comfortably be able to confirm that that is the position that happened in that deliberation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Murkomen.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to get some clarification on what exactly was Mr. Speaker, you and your party leader are confusing me, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker,
proceed,
Mr. Speaker, I need to get clear clarification. What is the import of what Senator Kibiru has reported to the House? First, in two things. One, the report he's giving us is under which standing order? What is it? Statement of a chair, personal statement, statement of comfort. The Speaker, I don't understand exactly what he's trying to communicate and how we can be able to hold him into account insofar as that statement is concerned. Number 2, Mr. Speaker, we have been in this House, I have been a member of mediation committees and also leadership of this House. How shall we hold Senator Kibiru, the chair of the Budget Committee, into account for the statements he made here. If there is no signed mediated version of a bill, if he was given a promise, verbal promise by somebody somewhere, we've been given so many verbal promises. So, Speaker, senior leadership of this House have been to State House, where we were told this week, you will get your money. Yeah, I was there. That's why I'm saying senior leadership of this House. I have been there in the presence of the President, where we've been told this week the oversight fund will be in your accounts, Mr. Speaker. That was like 3 years ago. And this week has not arrived. And that promise was given at the highest office in the land. How shall we believe this one for Senator Kibiru, Mr. Speaker? And how shall we hold him account?
Senator Cheruiyot.
Mr. Speaker, I wanted to protest while Senator Murkomen is still on the floor, because he appears to be demeaning Senator Kibiru, the chairman of Budget and Finance, the indefatigable chairman of Senate's Budget Committee on Budget and Finance. Because when he says that they have received assurances from the highest office, to the contrary, is he contradistinguishing it that Senator Kibiru's office is the lowest in the land, and therefore we should not in any way believe whatever he's saying? I think that is unfair to my chairman. I'm a member of Budget and Finance. I may not necessarily support the chair with in the statement he has made, because even as a committee, that's not our position. Because chairman, you remember there was a deal here yesterday, and that deal was made by a very high office in this parliament, none other than the son of Kericho, who happens to be the senator of Siaya. He came and gave me assurance and told me, my brother, my senator, please let us pass the second reading, but I assure you, in the interest of this house that I love so much, even though I may not be planning to make a comeback here, I want to leave a strong house that is dignified and respected. And he assured me, together with Senator Fatuma Dulo, the Deputy Majority Leader, that we shall not make any progress until Senator Kibiru makes progress with county grants bill. I believe that is a position, and as good gentlemen and lady, please lead us in that direction. Anything else, you'll be throwing this institution under the bus, and you know the history too well. I plead with you.
Yes, Senator Kibiru.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, I may not stand a chance when it comes to the verbal discussion with Murkomen, because he has been practicing it for quite some time. But I'm a man of few words, and I think I've made many promises in this house that I've never let the house down. After all, I am the one who even raised this issue, and I promised the house that I'll see to it that even if I'm exiting the house, I will not be eluding the job description of the house. Mr. Speaker, for comfort, Senator Murkomen, I stood at the standing order 51A, and it says a committee chairman may make a statement relating to a matter for which the committee is responsible. So that is the standing order I'm using. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah. What's your point of order, Senator Murkomen?
Mr. Speaker, I had a very specific question, and I know you are consulting my colleague, Senator Kavindu, but Mr. Speaker, two things. One, Senator Kibiru, Mr. Speaker, cannot claim to have made statements in the past that have come to be true. If Senator Kibiru, Mr. Speaker, came here with BBI and told us we want to give counties at least 35%. Senator Kibiru has come back with another bill, Mr. Speaker, saying we give counties the same amount we gave last year, which if calculated, Mr. Speaker, using the BBI standards, will be like 16-17%, Mr. Speaker, of the revenue. So, first of all, he has no credibility because the subject he's prosecuting on finance has not made the test of the promises he has made. But that is not my point. That's beside the point. I asked you a specific question. This statement he's giving, is he laying a foundation for something else? Because it might sound, the statement on its own might be okay. It's a promise. He didn't even need to make it, because tomorrow we'll be here. We'll come here in the afternoon to receive the report of the mediation committee. Why does he feel like he needs to make this communication? Because I am hoping it is not tied to us being told on the promise of some people who are not in this house and a promise that we cannot rely on, let's do another business. That's all. I just want that assurance from Senator Kibiru. You can make your promise. 24 hours is very short. We will see tomorrow if your promise will come true. Just don't use it as a promissory note to withdraw anything from this house. Mr. Speaker.
Senator Orengo.
Mr. Speaker, I stand here first of all to congratulate Senator Kibiru, not for what has happened now, today, that the issue that is of concern to the Senate, he was the first to raise it. Remember when we were discussing the Division of Revenue bill during the second reading, Senator Kibiru, both on account of making his contribution to that bill and subsequently to making that contribution to that bill, he made a statement here which many of us were not conscious of, but he did say at that time in very, very clear terms that to proceed with the Division of Revenue bill without resolution of the county, what is it called? A county grounds bill would be a big, big mistake. And I'm so happy because the other day when I was coming for the second reading, merely to come and cast my vote, I had the opportunity to read the Hansard of what Senator Kibiru raised on account of the necessity as a fundamental condition precedent to passing the Division of Revenue bill that we must have a resolution of the county grants bill, which is a bill that originated from this chamber. And then subsequently, the statement that Senator Kibiru made yesterday. In fact, if you read his statement, I think the most radical statement that was made about the powers of the Senate being eroded on account of not passing the county grants bill in the format in which it was passed by the Senate, the person who said that we be eroding the powers of the Senate, if that happened, was Senator Kibiru. And I'm very happy that his position has not shifted. And I want to report that this morning I was called into a meeting in which his counterpart in the National Assembly participated in. And on that account, they agreed that tomorrow the two committees, the mediation committee is going to sit to agree on the framework as proposed by the Senate. Not the five-year framework, but the 1 year, annual legislation coming to in terms of a bill coming to this House. So tomorrow I am aware that there's a meeting which has been convened of his committee to deliberate upon a report that is going to accept the Senate version of the bill. And I think that was a good report for him to give, because yesterday people were not quite excited about the proceedings, and we had to go into a kamkunji. And Senator Kibiru went to approach his people in the other house on the basis of what we agreed yesterday. So I think Senator Kibiru was what he was trying to do, that when we get to that order, he would, because that order now requires us to go into the third reading. But as chair of the committee, that bill is being piloted by the leader of the majority, not Senator Kibiru. So this is the appropriate time for him to make the statement, so that when we reach that order, we'll know that we have made some progress. And now it will be upon the House to determine whether we proceed further into the third reading or we wait until that report tomorrow is tabled. But I, on my part, I'm satisfied from what I saw today that the National Assembly now is committed to passing the Senate version of the bill. As to whether those assurances are enough for Senator Murkomen, I don't know. Yeah, because there was a time when he really believed Raila Amolo Odinga should be the president. and he changed his mind. And I can't accept that. He can change his mind anytime, including the fact that I was told by somebody in Elgeyo Marakwet that the senator for Elgeyo Marakwet has changed his mind about running for governor because the possibility of Raila Amolo Odinga winning the election is so high that he has to retrace his steps. And I wanted to make sure that he is not going to come back to a weak Senate. He is going to come back to a very strong Senate, which Senator Kibiru has ensured that that is what is going to happen. So for once, we are all honorable members. When Senator Kibiru, who had made those statements yesterday, stands up here and say we have a settlement now, I think we should take him seriously. Thank you.
No, the Senator Wetangula who was before you. Okay.
Mr. Speaker, you know I am a very serious supporter and fan of Senator Orengo. And when he speaks, Mr. Speaker, I really enjoy his speeches. And it's been a very great mind and friend. I really feel very sad that he decided to retreat to the villages of Siaya, which I believe it's out of sacrifice, to go and serve the people there. I would have loved to serve in my third time in the Senate with him here, but I wish him the very best. And Senator Orengo knows I've never considered running for governor. If for anything else, if I ran for governor, we would be together in the Council of Governors. But I still want to make my contribution here, Mr. Speaker, in this House. And between me and Senator Orengo and Kibiru, both of whom are going to the counties, I think, Mr. Speaker, you must give me benefit of doubt and listen to me more than them. Because, Mr. Speaker, they only have 3 months before they can exit this chamber. Myself and Senator Kio of Senator of Makueni, Kitui, Senator Wambua, Leader Wetangula, Senator Cheriot, Senator Fatuma Dulo, among others, have greater interest to protect this House more than them. Because, Mr. Speaker, if we come back here, and Senator of Machakos is here, Mr. Speaker, we are the ones who have greater desire to have a stronger chamber. And it will be very sad, Mr. Speaker, if the people who have participated in weakening this House the last 4 years of the handshake government would take leadership of the government at the top. Because, Mr. Speaker, that's why I don't wish his candidate becomes president. Because then they will continue the tradition of weakening this House. Mr. Speaker, very good, my friend Kibiru. Thank you for your report. But please listen from experience. We have been told, I told you from State House, forget about Kanini Kega. I am telling you from the highest office. We've been told this week your oversight fund will be in the account. You better listen to me and give these people, this is the only time to strike a deal. It will only take us 24 hours and that decision is made. Meet tomorrow at 10, agree on the bill, the version of the bill, bring it to the chambers in the afternoon. We will sit here, we've sat here to pass bills that were not so urgent. We'll sit here tomorrow after midnight to pass for you the 370. In any case, the state had promised us 600 billion. But we will pass the 370 if that is only what is there. And we realize that even by tomorrow, the decision of the Supreme Court on BBI will have come out. We will realize, Mr. Speaker, that all these people who used to preach this BBI thing and tell us 35% never believed in it because they brought us another 370 billion. But be it as it may, let's at least take something. Let's take this grants bill tomorrow. And this difference between now and tomorrow, 24 hours, is too short for us to be told, let the chairman of the committee give us a report about mediation and a promissory note that comes from one chairman who is a member of parliament of a constituency, Mr. Speaker, and then a whole Senate believes in his reported speech. It's not even written, passes a bill, a serious bill, and then tomorrow comes the advocate say, oh yeah, the chairman says, I received a phone call from somewhere, sorry, we are unable to pass that bill. Let's also be serious, a little bit serious, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Wetangula.
Mr. Speaker, I'm sat there listening and I'm appreciating Senator Orengo's exuberant optimism about his party leader becoming the president. Is a far shot.
At least he believes it's
It's a far shot. Anyway, Senator Kibiru, my chair, very hardworking, very bright chair. We have come a long way between this house and the lower house. And never you trust any promise from them. I can assure you, you will be cornered into passing a bill of such momentous importance, and tomorrow you'll be told we have changed our minds. We have had so much altercation and mistrust and distrust with that house that some of us have graduated into Thomas of the Bible, that seeing is believing. So I want to encourage you not to be too optimistic and too believing, because it will not happen. If indeed they will bring and send to you what you have promised tomorrow, we wait and see it. I'm ready to be a Thomas on this particular matter, so that we have a commitment in writing. What is so difficult, if what you are saying is true, for the Speaker of the National Assembly to write to our Speaker and say, we have this matter and the progress in this end is this much, we will reach here, please proceed if you can, or even from clerk to clerk. But in the absence of that, Mr. Speaker, you know, my chairman is still licking wounds from a recent debacle when he was frightened from joining a party of his choice. And he is now stuck with people he doesn't like.
What's your point of order, Senator Kibiru?
Mr. Speaker, I think I need to put the records very clear that, and the House knows, I've been an independent senator, but I support the government. And I was on to report, although I don't know the implication, but I can bring affidavits. I'm no longer Charles Rubenson Kibiru. I'm Charles Kibiru CK, officially. It is within that process that some people thought that they can be mischievous and try to remove him from this party, take me to this party, take me to another party. So let the record be very clear. Currently I'm in Jubilee, but that doesn't mean that I cannot make choices. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
What's your point of order, Senator Orengo?
I think, Senator, for Bungoma, your memory fails, and fails you tragically. You remember when the Waiguru matter came here, when everybody, including myself, took the position that that governor, there was no sufficient evidence to impeach her. Senator Kibiru, under a lot of pressure, and the side of this house that he belongs in, the way they were required to vote on that issue, he took a determined position to the end. If you look at the record, Senator Wetangula did not vote with Senator Kibiru at that time, when it really mattered. Fortunately, Senator Wetangula and the governor are now on the same side. But when our issues came up, he voted the other side. But that's not the important issue. What I'm just trying to say, I think give credit where it is due. And I can tell you, on this issue, I think Senator Kibiru has done a lot of work since last night. Not to do it for any purpose, but to achieve what the House demanded yesterday. And I'm glad Senator Sakaja has arrived. Senator Sakaja, you're so much aware of what we agreed yesterday. And that is what Senator Kibiru... No, because I'm saying you're out of order, because you're saying you don't trust Senator Kibiru. No, you said it. You said it. Because he's an honorable member. Even when you don't trust an honorable member like yourself, like Senator Slade used to say, the moment a member who is an honorable member does not believe an honorable member, that is when the House becomes dishonorable as a whole. And all that Senator Kibiru was trying to do, Senator Wetangula, was not to ask you to vote on the bill. He was just trying to make sure that what was required of him to do and what we agreed from yesterday is work in progress. And I agree with Senator Cheriot that so far we don't have anything that has been laid on the table. But tomorrow, Senator Wetangula, and I'm not in that committee, you're going to be in that committee. Yeah, you're going to be in that committee tomorrow. Courtesy Senator Kibiru, who has made sure there's going to be a meeting. It has already been convened, that meeting, where we are going to make sure that our position on the county grants bill is achieved, the mediated. And in fact, the process is much easier, because if the mediation process, in that process, they reach agreement, the bill, as far as we are concerned and Parliament is concerned, will now be due for assent. So let's give Senator Kibiru a little credit that what he has told us today is a development from where we were yesterday. The two chairmen have met. Tomorrow the committees are meeting. And by the time we meet tomorrow in the afternoon, we'll have a report before the National Assembly and before the Senate. And we are not doing anything before the National Assembly also acts. Both of the houses can do the same work at the same time. And that is when now we can be able to deal with the bill that is for us.
Senator Wetangula, continue.
Before Senator Orengo jumped in, I had actually cast no aspersions on my good friend. The only thing I had said in jest is that he tried to join a party he liked, but he was frightened of, and he moved elsewhere. And he has given an unconvincing explanation on the issue. All we are saying is, Senator Orengo, that we have a history with the National Assembly. And this mediation committee in which I am, Mr. Speaker, is a committee of 5-5. We can reach a stalemate and bring no report. The two chairmen can agree and go to the committee and find a different scenario. It is possible, it can happen. But Senator Kibiru has done a sterling job as our chairman of the committee. Senator Cheriot and I sit in that committee. We have never ever had any misgivings about his ability to chair or his industry as a chair. He has done a very good job. But on this particular one, we want to encourage you, Senator, that bring a tangible report here or a commitment or a past bill, then we deal with ours. But to rely on a promise from the lower house, we have a history. And I want to encourage my distinguished nephew, don't be prodded into this by Senator Orengo and smile and say, I was part of the discussion. A discussion is not an agreement.
What is your point of order?
A discussion is not an agreement.
Mr. Speaker, is my distinguished uncle in order? I know he knows many things, he knows how I operate, but is he in order to already insinuate and cast aspersions before I have spoken? Because, Mr. Speaker, I intend to speak on this matter. I spoke very strongly yesterday, and is my principle in Kenya Kwanza. He should not worry. But I am who I am.
Senator, we're going to conclude, yes.
I have never had any doubt that my distinguished nephew will always be on the right side of history, regardless of the weight of the moment. And I want to end by urging you, Mr. Speaker, that we have something tangible before we make our next move. And Senator Orengo and I have battled for the last 9 years and Murkomen and others, to uphold the dignity of this house against an assault from the other house. And that assault has not been only physical, it has also been in the form of fake and false promises that we receive and nothing happens. Mr. Speaker, none other than myself, Lonyangapo, Kiraitu Murungi, Muriuki Karue, sat to prepare a document for the oversight fund. We finished, we brought it to the House. The House looked at it, agreed. It is now gathering dust somewhere. And it was frustrated by the same House we are now supposed to believe on a verbal promise.
Senator Wambua.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank Senator Kibiro, though he's walking out, but it's important that you listen to this. The Speaker, Kibiro has reported a progress on the matter of the grants bill. But, Mr. Speaker, if I sat in this House yesterday and I followed debate in this House, what members asked the Chairman of Finance to do is not to come back and report progress or the restarting of a process. I think the members were clear that what they expected the Chairman to do is that at the fullness of time, he was going to table a report on an acceptable version of the mediated bill in this House, so that then progress on the Division of Revenue bill could continue. It is well that the Chairman has met the other Chairman and they have discussed. It's an indication of progress, but that's not what we are waiting for. At the point that then that discussion then yields some fruits, then we can restart the negotiations on Division of Revenue. So I want to encourage my friend, my brother, Senator Kibiro, to move now beyond talks with the other Chairman and make sure the committee sits, concludes this bill, they bring a report, and we move to the substantive Division of Revenue bill. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Cheriot.
Mr. Speaker, I want to encourage my chairman not to be a near do-good. Otherwise, he will set a very bad example that he nearly does the right thing every now and then, especially in this season. You know, yesterday he gave a very good promise before this House, and we respected him for that. That we have taken this position because we firmly believe that this is an assault on our prideful place as a Senate. That if we are taken out of this budget-making process, or we allow people outside this chamber to determine for us when we can consider certain matters, then those of us that are pleading with the electorate to allow us to come back to this House will be coming back to a skeleton. Therefore, I want to plead with my colleagues, especially those whose heart are still here beyond August in spirit. My good friend and neighbor, Senator Rose Nyamunga. I plead with you, don't allow those who have left this house in spirit already, they're only here in body, to mislead us. It will be very unfair because we had a deal, and a deal is a deal. The deal was past second reading. They'll go and consider the county grants bill, bring a mediation committee report. We will pass division of revenue. And I hear what Senator James Orengo, minority leader, is explaining. It makes perfect sense. The only question that I have for you, son of Kericho, why can't they also wait the same way they're asking us to wait? They can also wait. Once the mediation report is brought before this house, I can assure you nobody will raise a single question to that bill. We will pass it in record time. So I want to plead with you that for the sake of your colleagues who you are leaving behind in this house as you go to do good service to the people of Siaya, allow us to hold. Tomorrow the mediation committee happens. We are given the green light that they have agreed. We will come and receive the report here by 3:45. 3:45 at the very latest, we will have passed the division of revenue bill.
What's your point of order, Senator Orengo?
Mr. Speaker, I'm just urging that we don't turn this into a debate, because within the confines of the third reading, there is no intervention that Senator Kibiru can make. All that he was trying to do is to report progress on a matter that arose out of a Kamkunji. We were not discussing the bill in any formal way. All that he was doing is just to report progress. But we have not moved an inch from the position where we were yesterday. Yeah. So I think we are taking a lot of time. But I can assure you that what Senator Kibiru was trying to do is to report progress. And progress knowing that, there are people like Senator Cheriot, who is my senator, a very difficult senator, that if he doesn't have the good spirit of Senator Kibiru, for political reasons, which have nothing to do with the bill, he may try to do what Senator Wetangula was trying to say, that you may not agree tomorrow. I don't want to anticipate. I'm not a cynic or a skeptic, but I think the basis was that when we come to the third reading of the bill, there must be evidence before this House in a documentary form that some progress has been made. And I think Senator Kibiru made that very clear, that that is what is happening. And I plead with you, even if I don't come back to this House, I have an interest in a working Kenya where institutions are working. I don't want a Senate which is, just an institution which is there for people who are given sinecures. I want a Senate that plays a constitutional role. And what we are trying to do actually, in terms of the county grants bill, is very important for those who manage counties. Yeah, it's very important. It's not just for the Senate. It's very important for those who run counties in questions of accountability and oversight. Very, very important how these grants work and how they are allocated. So I plead with you that let's take this in good spirit, that Senator Kibiru has been doing a good work, and it deserves commendation. And never forget that there is somebody in this House called Senator Fatuma Dulo, the deputy leader, who has actually carried the burden of most of the frustrations we've had before. Oversight, remember the negotiation she was doing on our behalf with the Treasury. So all of us have got that memory, that once bitten, twice shy. So I plead, let's make some progress.
Okay, the last Senator Sakaja, I think he's been waiting for long. What's your point? What's your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, I really like the spirit with which Senator Orengo is now speaking towards the end of this conversation. Mr. Speaker, can we then take, first of all, I agree with Senator Orengo that our colleagues here who are hoping to become governors have a greater stake in this bill than even those of us who remain here, because it will benefit them but benefit the country. That I agree, and therefore they should be in the forefront in terms of ensuring that we pass this bill tomorrow. But be that as it may, Mr. Speaker, can we take the statement of Senator Orengo, who has said here that we are not departing from the position we took yesterday, to be also an additional information in the same stature as the one given by Senator Kibiru? Like Mr. Speaker, Senator Kibiru has given the progress up to now. Senator Orengo saying here that the position of yesterday still stands, which means we can't process the bill further until we finish the grants bill. Can we take it also, Mr. Speaker, as a communication of the same stature as the one of Senator Kibiru, or even higher stature, considering the position of Senator Orengo as a leader in this House, Mr. Speaker?
Senator Sakaja.
Mr. Speaker, I'm grateful to Senator Kibiru. He raised this matter. The Committee on Finance has stood its ground to make sure that before we do division, we always have these grants addressed. And it's a very important issue. And I really want to prevail upon the leader of majority and minority. And I'm glad Senator Orengo has spoken to balance the pressure, which I'm sure could be with the interest of the House. This 39 billion, I know for me it's 800 million in Nairobi. If we don't sort this thing out now, as I said yesterday in Kamkunji, if we don't sort it out before division, before third stage, we might as well just forget about it. Yeah? And I'm happy you have said that since the mediation committee is meeting tomorrow at 10, in fact, Mr. Speaker, you have the authority with your colleague in the other house to have them meet now and just bring us the report. I'm sure we will have 47 members voting yes, with or without amendments. But let us have that, and let us set a precedent the same way the Speaker of the National Assembly said that they will not deal with the budget estimates before division of revenue has gone there. Then the President, the Senate will have said is that before division is done, we have the grant sorted out. The Director of the Parliamentary Budget Office told us very clearly yesterday that until that is done, the dollar is actually hanging, because we don't know how to apply that 7 billion. So, Mr. Speaker, we're grateful. I think that is tremendous progress. Yesterday we consulted with the leadership. I'm sure Senator Kibiru has gone to consult further. By 10 a.m., once they meet, we'll be very ready to pass it. But I don't think that we should go into that vote today before we have actually seen the mediation report. It's just 24 hours. It's just one sitting. I don't think we've upset the calendar, in a big way. But, Mr. Speaker, failing to do that, and I can assure members here, I can assure you, if we pass the division today, you will never see that grants bill. You will never see it, Mr. Speaker. Let's just do it, because we want this money after August. You need it in CI, I need some of it in Nairobi, so that we can do it. And remember, out of the 39 billion, it's only 7 billion that's the national government. The rest of this money is from donors. A lot of it is health projects. These health projects are actually suffering. Possibly this money has been diverted or gone to other projects, we don't know. But what it behooves us as a Senate is to protect that. You can never give out your leverage before going to the table. There's no way we can vote and then tomorrow go to mediation. They will walk out. We've been in this mediation process many times. Without leverage at mediation, they will, we look at each other in the eye and they say, you people you can go to hell. There's nothing we're going to do. But until we have that leverage, Mr. Speaker, and the only leverage we have is the third reading. So let us wait for it, and I'm grateful and agree with Senator Orengo.
Leader of Majority, finally, then.
Thank you, Speaker, for the opportunity to join colleagues in this statement. Speaker, I think we will probably say more as we get to the order paper and get to the item, the order paper. There is a way in which members are both grateful, praising Senator Kibiru, at the same time not believing or casting aspersions in what he has to say. It's a bit, it's a bit confusing, Speaker. Speaker, the kind of work that Senator Kibiru and some of us have done this morning is such that it is it's like moving mountains. And where we've reached so far, Speaker, as has been said, it's a matter of the committees, the teams for mediation just getting together. Everything has been agreed as he reported, Speaker. We must have a little faith in some of these things that we have decided to do. Believe it's going to happen. And so that is one thing I wanted to say, Mr. Speaker. The other thing I want to say, Mr. Speaker, is that as Mr. Sakaja, Senator Sakaja says, that, you know, if we don't pass it, forget about the grants. How do you forget about grants? I mean, you cannot really lose monies in the system, so don't worry. The bill will be here tomorrow. We will be able to finish with
Really? Okay, that's your point of order.
Well, Mr. Speaker, the leader of majority is putting words in my mouth. I'd not say forget about grants. We need grants. But I'm saying that once we lose our leverage, that bill will not, I mean, it's taken how long for the mediation to be done? It's not been done, and it will not be done. That is my opinion. He may not agree with it, but I have not said forget. I've even said the exact amount of money I expect in Nairobi. I don't know how much was Pokotos to get, but that 700 million shillings, Mr. Speaker, actually 800 million is extremely important. So we cannot forget about it. And the reason, and because we can't forget about it, we're waiting for it to come tomorrow first before we vote on committee.
I thought you had finished, leader.
That's a point of opinion, whatever it's called, Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to emphasize the fact that there is goodwill, that the two leaders are together. In fact, we're more than just the two leaders. We had other leaders with us. We made sure that this thing came to the table. And it is true that we must have some faith in the leadership, have some faith in the process. And this is going to be delivered, as we have said, Mr. Speaker. So as we get to the order, when we get to third reading, then we can begin to talk more about this. I just wanted to say there's good faith, and there is no way that any of us in the leadership would slacken or leave anything to chance when it comes to this particular issue. It is important, and we're not going to leave it to chance. So that's why we are giving a review every so often about it and giving statements that can be credible. And I think that's just a matter of saying, let's believe each other. Thank you. Thank you, Speaker.
Okay, I think we've had. What I can say is that we are all senators, and it's important that we ensure that we protect the House. In my place, we say, when you want to kill a fly, you wait for it on the wound. So you can interpret what it means. Next statement. Next statement is Mr. Gertrude Musurube.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity. Honorable Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 47-1 to make a statement regarding the World Water Day. Honorable Speaker, World Water Day is held on 22nd March every year and raises awareness of the 2 billion people living without access to safe water. The theme for World Water Day this year is groundwater, making the invisible visible. This day is commemorated to educate people about the importance of water to the whole world and to raise awareness about the water crisis. The day also highlights the necessary improvement for access to water, hygiene, facilities, and sanitation in all countries. This day was first formally proposed in Agenda 21st of the 1992 United Nations Conference on Environment and Development in Rio de Janeiro. In December 1992, the United Nations General Assembly adopted Resolution A/RE RES/47/193, by which 22nd March of every year was declared World Water Day. Honorable Speaker, water has a salient role to play as an economic as well as social resource. Economically, water resources are critical for irrigated agriculture and in many industries such as mining and hydroelectric energy. It is used in the production of almost all goods. Socially, some of its main uses include bathing, drinking, that is for hydration, where it energizes the body and flushes out toxins and improves skin complexion, and other household needs as well as recreation or sports purposes. This indicates that no household can survive without water. Its essential role makes it a mandatory commodity. Honorable Speaker, natural sources of fresh water include surface water, under river flow, groundwater, frozen water, whereas artificial sources of fresh water include treated wastewater, that is reclaimed water, and desalinated seawater. Research reveals that of the Earth's water, only 3% is fresh water. Most of it is in ice caps and glaciers at 69%, and groundwater is only 30%, while all lakes, rivers, and swamps combined only account for a small fraction, that is 0.3% of the world's total freshwater reserves. Honorable Speaker, water resources are under threat due to scarcity, pollution, water conflict, and climate change. Fresh water is a renewable source, yet the world's supply of groundwater is steadily decreasing. Honorable Speaker, as we commemorate Water Day, I urge both levels of government to have sustainable mechanisms in place of ensuring that water supply is efficient and sufficient in all counties. I wish all Kenyans a belated happy World Water Day. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Nyamonga, you want to say something on water? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to support the statement by Senator Musuruve. Senator Musuruve is known for very good things. One of them, coming up with very nice topical issues that affect almost everybody in this country. Mr. Speaker, it's very unfortunate that even as I speak here, personally, I don't have water in my village, because water is only targeted at where schools are or maybe government institutions. But there are many people who live very far from any government institutions, myself included. So making it very difficult for us to have clean water. Mr. Speaker, that brings me to the point of the Korusoin Dam, which to me is very critical, because if the government can fast track that project, which will produce a lot of water and will serve almost three regions, that is the Rift Valley, Nyanza, and even part of Western Kenya, depending on the distribution that will be taken. To me, water is critical. Women are suffering a lot looking for water. Women spend a lot of time and money looking for water. In Nyando, where I come from, it is still a big dream for many people, and more so during the drought. It was very, very difficult for most women or most families to access water. So as we commemorate this, we are still lagging behind as a nation, and we should do our best to make sure that really water is life, and as many Kenyans as possible should be able to access clean running water. Because with water, we can do agriculture. With water, it will help us to, avoiding the waterborne diseases. And water is required in every village. Imagine sitting in Nairobi in your house and there is no single drop from your tap. You become sick, and it is a very difficult situation. What about our women in the rural who have never even seen that tap we are talking about? And water is a big dream. So the government should be urged, and I want to urge the government, that water is a big priority. And it is one of the devolved functions of our county governments. And I know sometimes it could be difficult for all the county governments to work on water, but that is where the national government should also come in handy to make sure that Kenyans have access to clean water. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, next statement is by a leader of majority, Senator Borgisho.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 47-1 to make a statement on an issue of a general topical concern, namely the 12th ordinary session of the Plenary Assembly of the Forum of Parliaments of the International Conference in the Great Lakes region, the 2nd to 6th of April 2022 in Nairobi, Kenya. Mr. Speaker, as you're aware, the Forum of Parliaments of Member States of the International Conference in the Great Lakes region is an interparliamentary organization of 12 parliaments of member states of the International Conference in the Great Lakes region, namely the Republic of Angola, the Republic of Burundi, the Central African Republic, the Republic of Congo, the Democratic Republic of Congo, the Republic of Kenya, the Republic of Rwanda, the Republic of Sudan, the Republic of South Sudan, the United Republic of Tanzania, the Republic of Uganda, and the Republic of Zambia. Speaker, of the forum's organs, Speaker, the Plenary Assembly is the highest decision-making body and is mandated inter alia to inter alia approve the nomination of office bearers of the FPICGR, adopt the forum's budget, adopt the reports of committees, adopt the recommendations and resolutions of governments and parliaments of the member states of ICGLR, and deliberate on all matters within the jurisdiction of the forum. The plenary assembly meets on an annual basis, and the venue of the event is held on a rotational basis between the member states. The mission of the FPICGLR is to work for the prosperity and stability of the ICGLR member states by the establishment and the entrenchment of democracy, good governance, the rule of law, and the fight against poverty. The forum is chaired by a president drawn from the speakers of the parliaments of member states, and the president serves for a one-year term. The Speaker of the Senate of Kenya, the Right Honorable Kenneth Lusaka, EGH MP, is the current sitting president of the forum. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Parliament of Kenya has the singular honor of hosting the 12th ordinary session of the plenary assembly of the FPICGLR in collaboration with the General Secretariat based in Kinshasa, DRC. The event is scheduled to take place from 2nd to 6th April 2022 at the Nairobi Serena Hotel. This event will be the first one in 2 years, following the disruptions and cancellations of in-person international events owing to the COVID-19 global pandemic. A series of meetings will be held during the 12th ordinary session of the Plenary Assembly and will include 1, the 7th statutory meeting of the Committee on Democracy and Good Governance, and the 4th joint statutory meeting of the Committee of Gender, Children, and Vulnerable Persons, together with that on social and humanitarian issues. The second one, the 24th ordinary session of the Executive Committee, Mr. Speaker, presided by yours truly. The third one is the 12th ordinary session of the Conference of Speakers, which will thereafter culminate in the 12th ordinary session of the Plenary Assembly. So, Speaker, sir, the theme of this event is the role of Parliament in conflict resolution. On my part, the forum could not have chosen a better theme given the current affairs on a global perspective. Since its establishment, the forum has been crucial in spearheading discourse on security, peace, stability, and development in the region, a region that has over the years seen more than its fair share of bloody wars, famine and starvation, economic and social inequalities, religious strife, and political instability. Regional and global debate resonate around the world around economic recovery post-COVID-19, which continues to persist even as countries ease containment measures, following a steady, robust, and adaptive measures to fight the pandemic. We must, however, not lose sight of the root causes of conflict pre-pandemic and institute measures to deal with them. Our failure to address these root causes will result in the same unsuccessful outcomes to eternal, interstate, regional, and global unrest. The role of Parliament in addressing the aforementioned challenges can therefore not be gainsaid. Speaker, I'm pleased that at the 12th plenary assembly of the forum, this topic has been chosen for discussion, for member parliaments to take necessary actions to strengthen governance systems and processes, interstate and regional cooperation. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Parliament of Kenya will be represented by the following members of Parliament who sit in the various committees of the forum. A. Senator Samuel Pogisho, EGH MP, who is President of the Executive Committee and member of the Committee on Economic Development, Natural Resources and Regional Integration. B. Senator Architect Sylvia Kasanga MP, member of the Committee on Women, Children and Vulnerable Persons. 3. Honorable William Kamket MP, member of the Committee on Humanitarian and Social Issues. D. Honorable Colonel Retired Geoffrey Muturi Kingangi MP, member of the Committee on Peace and Security. And E. Honorable Paul Chendo Amolo, EBS-SC MP, member of the Committee on Democracy and Good Governance. Speaker, I take this opportunity to welcome member states of the forum to Kenya and wish them fruitful deliberations in the 12th ordinary session of the plenary assembly. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you so much, Leader of Majority. As the President of ICGLR, I also want to extend the invitation to those who will be around and the member states who are coming to our beautiful city of Nairobi. Next statement is a statement by Senator Mwaruma, but I don't see him in the chambers, so the statements are dropped here at 2. I will therefore, honorable senators, wish to rearrange the order paper for the convenience of the House so that we go to Okay, we rearrange the order paper for the convenience of the House, so we go to order number 19.
Order number 19, the Employment Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 54 of 2021, second reading.
Yes, Senator Chararge.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On order number 19 on the second reading of the Employment Amendment Bill 2021, and I'll be requesting Senator Enoch Kio Wambua to second this amendment. Mr. Speaker, this is a very straightforward amendment. The principle behind it is to ensure that we disconnect
You need to move, huh?
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the Employment Amendment Bill 2021 be read a second time. So, Mr. Speaker, this is an act of Parliament to amend the Employment Act to provide for the right to disconnect, the right of employees to have their personal time and privacy respected, and for connected purposes. Mr. Speaker, you know, with the onset of technology, it is hard nowadays, and with the onset of COVID, you had virtual meetings, virtual engagements, Mr. Speaker, that you see people nowadays either fatigued, also